Hello. I was going to do a video, this video, a long time ago, and I just never had the opportunity or the time, or more the opportunity really to do it. Just how to analyse your lime mortar, and just to see, you know, if you're putting old stuff down, putting it back, and how to work out what's actually in the lime mortar. It's quite simple, really. Mark Rosier done a video on it not that long ago, I don't know, a few months back. So then I thought, well, I'm not going to do it now, because you know he's already put it out there, which was good, you know. It's a good little video. But Elder Trowel, I was speaking to Elder Trowel about a job he's doing at the moment, just talking about the mortars and, you know, how he's going to rebuild it, whatever. And I mentioned this little experiment to him, and he didn't, you know, he'd never heard of it. So I explained to him what to do, and he's done his own video on it. And to be fair, all fairness, he's done a very good video on it, and it's probably better than the video I would have done on it. So I'm actually putting this out now. So yeah, watch Al's video. I think it's good.
Drink, beige drink. Doesn't look very tasty, does it?
No, I don't think that would be very tasty.
All right, lads, how's it going? Okay, what's this? Right, this is an old goat trick. Only the goats know this. This has been handed down from goat to goat through the generations. And Goat Pally handed this one down to me. So, if you want to know what lime you got, what mix you got, this isn't scientific, clearly, but what you can do is get some lime, just literally lime from the bricks, crush it, grind it, fill this bottle up, 1/3, 2/3 water, shake the life out of it and let it stand. Right, can you see it, Nurse? Is it hard to? It must be, because you're going really close.
The thing is, I can't really see on the camera. Your phone's a bit knackered, isn't it? They might be able to see it.
Right, okay.
Talk as if they can.
Go back then, Nurse. Gone back yet? Right. So here, what happens is the grit drops to the bottom, then the sand, and then the lime goes on top. So it's very fine, the grit here. We said this before we even started, Nurse, how we could barely see the grit, didn't we?
Yeah.
It's really tiny grit, which is in this bottom bit here, and then we've got sand to there, and then we've got lime on the top. So then what Goat Pally said to me was, you can sort of, right, so now I can, this is almost thirds from what I can gather. It's very close to 1/3 grit, 1/3 sand, 1/3 lime. So now what you can do is go and get another bottle. He says the pickled onion jar's the best. Don't eat pickled onions, that's my problem. So this is Nuss's, but we've got another one. Now what we can do is the gauge I've got in my head, put it in here, do the same thing, and then let that one settle. And then you can compare the two bottles to see if you've got, you know, somewhere in the ballpark of the same amounts of grit, sand, lime. So obviously it's not scientific. It's not like sending away and getting tested. I think that's a fantastic little tip for the goats. So if you're not a goat, forget what I just said. And if you are a goat and you didn't know this, consider I've passed it on to you. Nurse, you're not a goat.
I am a goat. You've told me it, so that means I'm the goat.
You're not even good enough to be the goat shit. Right? But I think that's an amazing little trick. I never heard of it till the Goat Pally told me. He is my go-to guy, as you all know. But the grit, it's very fine, isn't it, Nuss?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now I know that the grit we use is nowhere near like that, Nuss, is it?
No.
There's in fact, there's a bag of it under here, isn't there? There's a bag of it under here, Nuss. Look, it's even got that in it. But look at these. So most of it's like that, Nuss, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, in that bottle, that would be a big one, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
So we're not going to be able to match the grit unless we don't do grit. Or if we can find it. But we ain't going to have time to fuck about like that. We will do grit, fuck it. And our grits, the aggregate will just be bigger, won't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's what we'll do. In my head, the mix for this was going to be 1 grit, 2 plastering sand, the yellow one, because I want to get the colour up, because that was originally very light. Look. Here's some originalness. It's not the best, is it, to see? So the original gauge was going to be 1 grit, 2 plastering sand, 1
Lime.
3.5 NHL. I was talking to the goat about this, and because with these we've got some really hard bricks and some really soft bricks, so it's not an easy one to judge with the lime. But like Andy said, he tends to swing on the stronger than the weaker. So we are gonna use 3.5 and not 2. So I'm gonna knock that gauge up in Nuss's new bottle that isn't quite empty yet, and we're gonna see where we stand. And if it's miles away, Nuss, we'll just have to change it up a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
We know that if we can get that sand again, Teapot, if we know we can get that sand again that we got the other day, the other week, we know how light that can be. So that's the right colour, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just quantities. So I think that is a fabulous little trick about where you're sort of like reverse engineering the lime, aren't you?
Yeah.
So I've reversed engineered that lime. So if a spacecraft falls down, I'm the kiddie to reverse engineer it.
No. Definitely not.
In other words, I can build spaceships and time travel.
How have you gone from lime to space travel?
Because I'm a goat. That's brilliant. I love that. That's one of my favourite experiments. It's like being at primary school again, isn't it? Stick your toe in a bottle for 3 hours, see what happens. I love it. Well done, Mr. Pally. Brilliant tip. Right, boys. Hope you're impressed. Plug up.